Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Tonight I have a quick little discussion for you regarding the price of Digimon, how it's going to be changing soon, things to watch out for in the sense of barrier to entry. And I just want to compare to other games that are, pretty reputable and see if Digimon is in a good spot, right? Relatively speaking, from a barrier to entry standpoint. Like the video, comment, subscribe, let me know what you think. And the reason why I want to talk about this video in the first place is because of this set. Starting this set, Release Booster version 2.5, they've actually increased the price of booster boxes across, basically the world in terms of how expensive it's going to be to buy cards as a store from a distributor. That matters because it's going to make MSRP change. It's also going to make stores want to sell more product, but at a higher price. So what I'm going to do real quick, I can't really tell you what I'm paying for product because that is a no bueno kind of thing. But I'm going to give you just the quick rundown of what you need to know and how it's going to probably affect you. So let me go ahead. I logged in. You can't see it because I'm doing it on a separate screen. Bandai, pre-order. Boop, boop, boo, boop, 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 boo. How much information here can I give? Not a lot. Not too much. Okay, this might be interesting. So it looks like Chains of Liberation is going to be the same price, which is EX08, by the way. Costs us the same price as stores, and that's our set. We're getting it the week after Nationals, which is pretty cool. Release Booster 2.5, and it looks like Beyond, costs me an additional $12 and change in order to per box to pick up like product, order product, pre-order product. So what that's going to mean is MSRP is going to go up, at least 15, $20. And that's just something you have to deal with in terms of buying boxes and all that. Because it has to adjust, right? Because if I'm a Canadian store, right, and I'm selling product at the same price for, even though the increased pre-sale value on our side goes up, all of a sudden I'm making a lot less money, right? And every store is going to think that way because every store is basically doing the same thing. So it's going to cause the price of booster boxes to go up starting February 28th when this 2.5 set comes out. So this is a reality we have to deal with. Yes, it sucks that it's happening, but this has already happened once or twice or three times in Digimon's history already. It's happened in other card games as well. Happened in Yu-Gi-Oh! Recently. Happened in Pokemon and Magic a while ago. Magic's a particularly interesting game because there's no MSRP on the products, which is its own issue. I'd be lucky we have MSRP. I'm just going to be real with you. But yeah, it's going to cause things to be a little more expensive. It will trickle down to the secondary market in singles because there are stores that are still going to want to obviously open up product to sell singles, but they have to keeping that cost in mind, right? So all these big stores, the PPGs, who sell the pre-sales, well, all of a sudden they're going to be justified in increasing the price of pre-sales a lot more, as well as just the average run-of-the-mill single card anyway after the fact. So that's important. Now, in terms of barrier to entry, you might notice that Digimon has already kind of started to increase in price, right? And it really depends on what you're playing. If you want to play deck with Exceptional Protoform, yeah, your barrier to entry is a little higher. If you want to play Lucamon or Demon Lords, yeah, your barrier to entry is a little bit higher now. If you want to play a blue deck with Hexablow, yeah, your barrier to entry is a little bit more than it would be. Same with Paladin mode, and these decks are these cards are interchangeable in the decks, right? Things like Paildramon here, what would turn otherwise Imperial to a budget deck, all of a sudden costs a lot more just because of this card, right? Then you have things like Tribumon Ace if you want to go the Angel route or whatever other vaccine. If you play a deck with Ukamon, odds are you're playing 4 of it. Odds are you're playing $36 for a playset of rares. Yeah. Then you have things like Magna X, where odds are you might be playing a few of these, and that impacts the price, right? So your barrier to entry is kind of what you want it to be, right? But we can't deny that there are some decks that are just more expensive to play than others. And it's going to be that way, especially heading into nationals, because stores and vendors, especially as we get closer to nationals, and we saw this last year, they have the ability to just upcharge because it's nationals. Oh, you need your cards for nationals. What are you going to do? Not play the deck you want for nationals? Yeah, I don't think so. You'll pay the higher prices. Or if you won't, we'll find someone else who does. And that's basically how it works, right? It's important because nationals is 2 months away, like 9 weeks or whatever. So, yeah, barrier to entry in Digimon is increasing. It is. I made this video I think like 3 or so months ago, and it wasn't as bad as it is right now. But how's it compared to other games? Well, with Yu-Gi-Oh, I'll just stop right here. This card is Molcharmi Fuwalos. This is a card that most people have to play 3 of in their decks. It's the new staple hand trap that people just have to play. Most decks play 3 of this card. Well, all of a sudden, 3 copies of this card immediately costs more than like any low Digimon rarity deck you want to build. Except for maybe Lucamon when it comes out. But like Lucamon isn't going to be tier 1 anyway, right? So, yeah. Yu-Gi-Oh's already way crazier. Don't need to worry about it. You don't need to worry about it. Like, compared to Yu-Gi-Oh, we're doing quite alright with barrier to entry. What about Pokemon? Well, Pokemon's really cool, right? Because Pokemon, I'd say, is actually doing better than Digimon in this sense now in today's standards. Doesn't matter what deck you want to pick. Like, you pick your boss monster for your deck, Charizard, Gardevoir. There are other ones like your Paradox Pokemon boss decks, Palkia, V-Star, whatever. The boss monsters themselves are very cheap. Like, very, very cheap. I mean, $12 compared to, pick any of these cards here. Pretty reasonable. And you're only playing 2 or 3, right? Like, any boss monster, you're really usually only playing 2 or 3, sometimes 4. Then you also got to keep in mind your staples, right? And your staples can be in the form of, like, expensive Pokemon. But when I say expensive Pokemon, Fezandipity EX is the most expensive one out of all of them, lowest rarity. The other ones like Luminion V and Rotom V really just don't cost anything, right? And you're only playing 1 or 2 copies of them anyway. And then everything else in the deck, like 4 Sealstone, what's not the one I wanted. I don't know how that happened. That's crazy. But yeah, this is a card you got to maybe play 1 of. Maybe you play 1 of it. You have $3 for 1 copy of the card because you only play 1 copy of the card. If you look at the most recent set, which I guess is this one, Surging Strikes or whatever, you take a look at the cards that are selling. Why is it? What? Huh? Weird. Oh, it's pre-sale, that's why. My bad. Last that's actually out, Stellar Crown. Stellar Crown here, a lot of this stuff is alt art and whatever, but like one of the most hyped cards in meta cards is the turtle, Terrapagos EX. Like nothing. It's not that expensive. So like Pokemon at this point in time, lowest rarity, is actually cheaper than Digimon. Like 3-4 months ago, I'd say it was about the same, but now it's just cheaper. So that's really interesting. So if you want a game that's with lower barrier to entry than Digimon, play Pokemon straight up. You'll be really rewarded, and you have more tournaments by a lot. Oh god. Okay. Anyway, then lastly, we'll go to Magic. Now, depending on what format you play, depends the price of your cards, right? This is from the most recent standard set, Duskmorn, where all the cards can be played in basically any format in the game. Like cards here, they get expensive. Not gonna lie. The ones that are really meta, like these ones, they add up. They do. The barrier to entry is definitely more than Digimon, even in standard. If you go to Modern and beyond, well, Modern, this is the most recent Modern set, Modern Horizons 3. Like, this was a good set for Modern players, absolutely. And it helped bring the barrier of entry to Modern, actually, a little bit lower, which is great. Like, your mana base, all of a sudden, like your fetch lands, thanks to Modern Horizons 3, are way cheaper than they used to be. Now, you still need lands. Yeah, you still have to pay, for 4 of these, or like 4 of these and plus 4 of others, and blah 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 blah, other lands. Like the land value in some of your decks alone will be more expensive, or as expensive as your barrier to entry Digimon, not to mention everything else. And God forbid you want to play a serious format like Commander, or an older format like Vintage or Legacy. Unless you're playing like mono red burn or red white burn or red black burn, basically a red burn deck, your barrier to entry is insane. So all in all, Digimon still isn't bad. Like, it's not bad. I still think the barrier to entry in this game is good. However, it is increasing, and you should be aware that the price will probably continue to go up. Like, in a year's time, the barrier to entry to this game will probably be more than it is right now. What do you guys think about today's discussion? Let me know in the comments section your thoughts and opinions, and I'll see you later. Bye!